Yahawah, Brakati Yahawashai, Brakati Yahawah, Brakati Yahawashai, Brakati Yahawah, Brakati Yahawashai, Brakati Yahawah, Brakati Yahawashai, Kohaloyam La, Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. All right, first and foremost, I'd like to continue to give all honor and glory and praise unto Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, to all the Akim out there teaching and preaching this truth with 144% sincerity, to the men, women, and children listening and learning, to the Bayah Shadabadat, the house of David. I'm Ayah Shatad, with Men of Valor, Las Vegas camp, coming to you through the will and power of Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, as well as you speckled birds whose father's line goes back, you are the true children of Israel that the Bible speaks of. Salvation belongeth unto you, and you alone. All right? But without further ado, I have a lesson for you today, Lord willing, to be edifying, uplifting unto the body. It's going to be here. It's going to be here in the book of Jeremiah. It's going to be chapter 3. And we're going to start here at verse 14. And it reads, Turn, O backsliding children, saith Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi, for I am married unto you. Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi is telling you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, as well as you speckled birds whose father's line goes back, to change your ways and turn back unto him. All right, to get out of this pulpit pimp Christianity. All right, to stop going into these harlot houses. Stop giving your substance, all right, to these harlots. All right, stop doing the things that are against Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi. All right, he is calling out unto the nation of Israel. All right, he is calling out to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, as well as you speckled birds whose father's line goes back. Okay, because this isn't a color so-called nationality thing. All right, it is a heritage-based blood line. All right, that Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi has established from the beginning of time. All right. Continuing on, and it reads, For I am married unto you. Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi is married unto the nation of Israel. All right, because he made a covenant with Israel as he sprinkled the blood on the people and he sprinkled it on the book. All right, from the Old Testament all the way to the New Testament. Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi is not a man that he should lie. All right, he said he would keep Israel forever. Okay. Continuing on, and it reads, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi is going to deliver the nation of Israel. We are closer than ever of seeing our salvation, Lord willing, and we be of that number. All right. Lord willing, we be the elect men out on the highways and byways teaching 100% doctrine coming out of GMS. All right, giving our due diligence for whatever measure Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi has bestowed upon a brother. All right, for whatever measure Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi has bestowed upon a sister in her belief, in her faith, in her walk. All right, in the children. All right, but as being the prophets, as we believe we are, the work that we do is sufficient for Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi. All right, here at Men of Valor in our Bible study. All right, Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi had the brother Bakar ask a question. All right, and the question was, if Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi came to you today, all right, and asked you, why should you receive salvation to be in the kingdom? All right, what would you say? All right, and no matter what it is that you said, Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi said, it's not enough. All right, so what would you do? You have an opportunity to do more, but it's not enough. Okay, so may Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi continue to influence us and give us hope. All right, and continue to work with us and continue to give us mercy and grace. All right, it was the spirit of Yahawah Bashem Yahawashi that questions are posed. All right? Because Yahweh Bashem Yahushai doesn't want to know what you just did yesterday. He knows what you did yesterday. He even knows what you're going to do in the future. All right? But he wants to see, what are you going to do for him? How are you going to push it? All right? What will you do in working out your salvation with fear and trembling? All right? So it's never get too comfortable. All right? And knowing too much, or knowing just enough. All right? Yahweh Bashem Yahushai does this and continues to give brothers motivation. All right? Because this question should light a fire. All right? Should continue to feed the fire that is in you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay? Continuing on. And let me read that last part again from the break. And I will take you, one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. Right? So Yahweh Hashem Yahushua said, I will bring you to Zion. All right? You will be that monument. All right? And this is essentially what you're fighting for. You're fighting to be a monument, an example in the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua to the other nations and to Israel. All right? We are fighting in the continuation of that. All right? For many were called, but few were chosen. Lord willing, we be of the number that was called and chosen. Okay? And this is really where the lesson starts, but I just had to touch on that. All right? This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 15, and it reads, And I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua said he will give you pastors, he will give you ministers, he will give you preachers, he will give you teachers, he will give you evangelists after his own heart. All right? Men that speak his word, men who will stand for his testimony, teaching 100% truth coming out of GMS. It doesn't matter how many videos are watched. It doesn't matter how your what is it called? The editing is done. All right. It just matters if you are doing it in truth and sincerity, and after the way that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua has told you to do it, not going off and selling out for the bag. All right, like Deacon. All right, and the reprobates that have fell out before him and the ones that will fall out after him. Lord willing, I be not of that number. All right. Just continuing in the way of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, continue to please him. All right. Finding another way. If this way is working, good, great. Through the will and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. What is another way, and what is something else I can do for Yahweh Hashem Yahushua? And this is what we should constantly be asking ourselves. All right. If this, is there a better way to do what I'm doing? All right. May Yahweh Hashem Yahushua continue to bless us in the ministry. All right. Through the will and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Because he said pastors after his own heart, his own mind. All right. Knowing how to please and what's pleasing to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is key. All right. And it is something to strive for continuously. All right. As you wouldn't want your woman, as you would want your woman not to be boring for you. All right. If your woman is just doing the same old thing and not trying and giving effort, you're going to get bored. It doesn't matter how many women that you have. If that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever Yahweh Hashem Yahushua has blessed you with, if those women or if that woman is doing the same routine and never trying anything to please you, you will get bored. All right. So Yahweh Hashem Yahushua doesn't want us to be boring. He wants us to be exciting and be on fire for him. Something old but new. All right. If you broke down the script, get deeper into the scripts. What else does it say? Is it just surface? All right. And if that's your measure that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua has given you, hey, stay on the surface, but search for more. Studying to show thyself approved. All right. There's a lot of breakdowns, and there is a lot of meat on these bones, all right, that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is requiring us to pull off within our measure, okay? Let me go here. This is going to be here in the book of 1 Corinthians. And it's going to be chapter 14. In verse 32, and it reads, "And the spirit of the prophets are subject unto the prophets." Right? The spirit of the prophets are subject unto the prophets. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai said he will give you pastors and preachers and teachers and evangelists and men after his own heart, teachers. All right? Those who hold the testimony of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. He will give it to you after his own heart. All right? To proclaim his name, to proclaim his coming, to proclaim his will, all right, his judgment, all right, his mercy, his grace, all right, the prophecies to come, the things that have passed. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai gives you the full book, all right. So you have to believe that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is in this book, and is this book, is the living, breathing document, all right. Lucky. Gonna be here. Gonna be here in the book of John. It's book of John, chapter 10, and verse 10 in verse 20. Let's start at verse 25, and it reads, Yahawashi answered them, I told you, and ye believe not. Matter of fact, let's start at 22. It's going to be here in the book of John, chapter 10 and verse 22, and it reads, "And it was at Jerusalem the feast of dedication, and it was winter." All right. And Yahawashi walked, walked in the temple in Solomon's porch. Then came the Jews around about him, and said unto him, How long dost thou make us to doubt? Salakia. Let me blow my nose. Salakia. All right. Let me read from from verse 24 again. This is the book of John, chapter 10 and verse 24, and it reads, Then came the Jews around about him, and said unto him, How long dost thou make us to doubt? If thou be a Mashiach, tell us plainly. Right? So here it is. These non-believers, all right, are questioning Yahawashi. All right, are questioning Yahawashi about about his position, about who he is. Okay, but Yahweh Shem Yahawashi, is not going to show up in this day and time himself. All right, Yahawashi, is not yet to come back. All right, at this point in time. When he does, salvation will be here, and then every knee will bow, every tongue shall confess. All right, that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is Lord. Okay, continuing on, verse 25, and it reads, Yahawashi answered them, I tell you, and ye believe not. It's like I tell you, and ye believe not. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me. All right, the works that we do through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, from our head apostle on down. All right, from Icky Vicky, C1, through Salakia, through the C1. All right, through this economic collapse that you're starting to see. Salakia, I'm getting a bloody nose. Allergies are bad. All right. Through the Icky Vicky, through the C1. All right. Yahweh Shem Yahushai has manifested these things. All right. Has told you of these things to come. All right. Starting from our head apostle, Apostle Tahar, Apostle Gabar, Apostle Ramla, Apostle Rakah. All right. The elders. All right. The bishops. All right. Giving testimony all the way to the newest brother. All right. But when these men have given you the testimony, have given you the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you believe it not. All right? Because know that the scripture is of no private interpretation. All right? We are not out here by our own accord. We are out here because we have been called by Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Brothers have stopped everything through the will and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, whatever they may have in their lives. Like Apostle Gabar just said recently, all right, I believe it was a camp or two ago, all right, about him wanting to be a musician, all right, and what he thought he was going to do, all right, but Yahweh Shem Yahushai has called him unto the ministry, and hey, all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, hey, for calling our head apostles, and especially our head apostle Tahar, all right, and every brother in their measure, all right. Yahweh Shem Yahushai is building the kingdom right before us, okay? So that we may first partake of this kingdom spiritually, to do the work, all right? To grow the brotherhood through the will and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, all right? So that we may understand, what it is that we have, that is precious, that is true, that Yahweh Shem Yahushai has given us, all right? Salakia. And verse Salakia, and we come in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Hey, this ministry is a miracle. Okay? It is a miracle. It is a miracle, that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has brought it back together. It is a testimony. It is a witness unto the world. Okay? Verse 26, and it reads, but ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep. As I said unto you, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. All right? So if you don't believe on the testimony of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, if you don't believe in the so-called UFOs or UAPs, all right, that are the true children, that are the chariots of Israel for the deliverance of the true children of Israel, the Israelites, and the elect of Israel, all right, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, as well as the speckled bird whose father's line goes back. If you don't believe the doctrine, the 100% truth coming out of GMS, all right, then you don't have it. You don't understand. You are not speaking and giving the account in the testimony and the ministry of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right? You are essentially falsifying the testimony of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, therefore being a false prophet. All right? As this BS stuff that Deacon is saying. All right? Hey, always changing his doctrine, all right? Not just him, hey, a multitude of wayward doctrined Israelites, all right? But, hey, they got a job to do. Salakia. They got a job to do that Yahweh Shem Yahushai has appointed them that position, all right? And that position was to what? Sell out for the bag, okay? Now, I wasn't there, don't believe, but look at his doctrine. Look how he's changed up over the years. Okay? It's going to be here. And it's going to be the book of John, St. John, chapter 17 and verse 9. 17 and verse 9, and it reads, I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine. Right? So this is Yahawashi speaking. All right. And he said he prayed for them. He prayed not for the world. He didn't pray Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi. Yahweh didn't allow Yahawashi to pray for the whole world. All right. He could have easily done it. All right. But he prayed for the faithful. He prayed for the true. He prayed for the elect of the nation of Israel that Yahweh had given unto him, the remnant. Okay. Verse 10, and it reads, and all mine are thine, and thine are mine, and I am glorified in them. Right? Glorified in them by speaking and preaching and teaching the testimony of Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi, making known the names of Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi, making known the faith, the wonders, the miracle, the majesty, the might, the glory, the fear in Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi, the name, all right, the repentance that lies there, all right, the mercy and the grace that is given unto you, Israel. Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi is giving it right to you, all right, through men after his own heart, preachers after his own heart that walk in the way to the best of their ability after Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi. Verse 11, and it reads, and now I am no more in the world, but these are in the world, and I come to thee. Holy Father, Yahweh, keep through thy own name those whom thou hast given me, that they may be one as we are one. All right? That they may be one as we are one. That we shall be on one accord with Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi. That we shall stand for the faith of Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi, not wavering, not folding, continuing to fight, continuing to find a new, old way to serve Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi. New way is using the internet. All right, hey, letting your voice be heard through the will and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi, giving your testimony, putting up your alms. All right, fasting and praying, giving everything to Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi to the best of your ability. Not folding, never wavering in the doctrine, not selling out for the bag, not a Mercedes, not a Bentley truck, not nothing. This world can't offer you anything. You must give it all for Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi. Fuck these toys and these Happy Meals, as Kanye says. He had a crack deal, all right? Hey, we don't want it. We want salvation. We want Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi. We need Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi. All right? And if you don't need Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi, Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi is going to show you exactly why you need him. All right? There's no escaping the will and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi. There's only compliance. All right? You will either comply and get laid down, or you will comply and get lifted up and raised up. All right? Through what the world calls a UFO or UAP. Salvation will come from the chariots of the nation of Israel. Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi's nation. All right? Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi's army. All right? Yahawashi will deliver his people. Okay? In that manner. I don't give a shit if you believe it or not. Doesn't matter to me. All right? And salvation is only to the nation of Israel. The true children of the nation of Israel. All right, in Israel alone. Verse 12, and it reads, while I was with them in the world, I kept them in thy name. Those that thou hast given me, I have kept, and none of them is lost. But, but the son of perdition, that the scriptures might be fulfilled. All right? Hey, only let Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi's scriptures be fulfilled. It's the only thing that is a guarantee, except for the son of perdition, all right, that Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi said is lost, all right, except for those who fall under that category, all right, none that was given unto him, All right. But that one that fell under the category, but essentially still was not, all right, of the fold that he wanted. All right. He was it was a necessary I guess you could say a necessary evil. All right. It's the only word that is popping into my mind. All right. So that the scripture may be fulfilled. All right. Let me go ahead and jump back here. Hey, because once again, it's going to be here in the book of John, chapter 14. And let's start at verse 7, and it reads, "If ye have known me, ye shall have known my Father also. And from henceforth ye know him and have seen him." All right. So, hey, if you know Yahawashai, if you know the testimony of Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, if you know the testimony of Yahawashai, you know the testimony of Yahweh. All right. And this is what he told his disciple. Philip saith unto him, "Lord, show us the Father, and it suffered us." Slaki, and it suffered Slaki. Suffereth us. Yahushua said unto him, "Have I been so long with thee, with you, and hast thou not known me, Philip?" All right, so this is Yahushua speaking. Salakia for getting tongue twisted. He that hath seen me hath seen the Father. And how say thou then show us the Father? All right, so Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai said, if you have seen him, and if you have seen him through this word, through this ministry, through this doctrine, all right, if you have believed upon the testimony of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, if you believe upon the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, all right, if you believe, you are seeing the Father. You are seeing Yahweh Bashem Yahushai in the word, in the actions, in the deeds of us men who are out on the highways and byways making our body a living sacrifice, that are teaching the 100% doctrine coming out of GMS. All right? This is the closest that you are going to get besides the vision Yahweh Bashem Yahushai giving you. All right? But this is the closest that you are going to receive, or the men teaching 100% doctrine coming out of GMS in the same doctrine. All right? It is the testimony of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So if you adhere to the word and the testimony and the doctrine of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, you are therefore seeing the face of the Father and the only begotten Son. All right? Hey, truth is in the earth in 100% coming out of GMS. Lord willing, this was an edifying, uplifting lesson. I want to give all honor and glory and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rechak Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone. To all the Akim out there teaching and preaching this truth with 144% sincerity. To the men, women, and children, listen, learning, and to the Bayashir Debadat, the house of David. To the next time, Mamaya Shatatsa and Shalom, Kwam Yasharala, Wa Abal Babal, Shalom.